So, do you want to tell us your name?
Twila Sylvia.
Where are you from?
Actually, from Portland, I guess. We moved from Eastern Oregon, Mission, Oregon, when I was 14, Portland, and there been ever since. 1931.
Okay.
On Friday the 13th.
Oh, interesting.
Well, I had a brother and sister, and then I was the youngest.
Okay. What are your brother and sister's names?
Clarence and Zona.
Are you close to them?
Well, my brother died when he was 23. My sister lives in Lake Oswego. And she lives in a care home, more or less. So just whenever I get out there to see her, basically, and I get depressed when I go there, so I don't go. But I talk to her at least once a week.
That's good.
And I have a girlfriend that I went to high school with. She was a year ahead of me. Her husband passed away, so she wanted a place to live, and she moved in there where my sister's at. So she takes care of all the older people around for them. Oh boy. You know, that's hard to say. We lived on the farm, and Dad sold the cow's milk to the creamery. So whenever, every once a month, he got a check. We got a 5 cents a month allowance. Do you want to hear what we did with that money?
Sure. Yeah.
We used to go down to the general store when Mama goes shopping, and we'd take our 5 cents and look at the penny candy. And just took a long time, you know, looking at, well, which do I really want the worst and everything. And I'd go buy mine. And then, oh, I was a brat. I would go tell my sister, we'll get this, because she'd still be looking. And if she didn't get what I wanted her to, I'd kick her in the shins. And she still has dents in her shins from where I kicked her. I told her I was a brat.
You made a mark on her life then.
Oh, yes. Well, boy, Saturdays we cleaned house. We all kind of had our own little chores. Dad kept trying to get me to go out and milk cows, and they'd always go dry, so I got out of that one. And, but you know, back on the farm, it's just altogether a different life. And my grandmother, she lived with us. She had one leg off. I think it was the left leg, I'm not sure. And she was going blind when her youngest son was born, the same age as my brother. And so we took care of Grandma, and Dad came down, worked at the shipyards, and after Grandma passed away, we moved down. And it was just, I don't know, we had very little, but we got along with what we had. And, it's like one of the pictures I gave you, we had nice dresses on, my sister and I, but our dresses, which we always had dresses when we were little, would be out of printed flour sacks. Mom would buy the flour, and then after done, she would wash sacks and make our dresses. But you know, we thought we had everything, and we did have everything we needed. It's just a different way of life than it is here in the kids learn here now. And we always went to a cousin's house on Sunday and had fried chicken dinner, and then the next week they'd come to our house. The hay men, they go from all around I don't know, 4 or 5 different farms. They come do our hay, and then they go, whoever's hay got ready to be mowed and everything first. And then they go to the others. And then we had to cook their dinner. And lunch was always a big meal with the hay men. I had to carry the water out to them. And we thought nothing about it. My sister. Well, we had friends, but we didn't live close like we do here in Portland. So basically it was just really in school year that we really saw. unless Dad happened to be going down or something, or Mom downtown, and we'd see him downtown. I was kicking my sister in the shins. Oh, I don't know really. We this one house we lived in, when the wind blew, the rug would come up like this, then you'd step on it, squish. And, of course, we always had the outdoor bathroom, outdoor house. I always had my little stool on the side. Dad could be in there, and I'd go in and do whatever, it's just, you gotta share these things, One time, well, I was in school then, I was in first grade, I think, and the school teacher lived with us. So Mom and Dad had gone to Baker City to do some shopping, and we had been told not to jump the creek that went through. And so, guess who? My brother and sister talked me into doing it though. And we've been told that if you get a spanking at school, you get one at home.
Yeah.
So guess who jumped the creek and fell in? But anyway, I got home, changed my clothes for Mom and Dad came home. But the school teacher was being real quiet, and my brother and sister, we were too, and Mom and Dad, well, what's wrong? Oh, nothing, And Mom had asked Irene, that was her name, Miss Shekel, about it, and oh, nothing. Well, finally, I don't know whether, I think I told Mom and Dad or something, and the school teacher gave us, the three of us that did this, a spanking. And we've been told that if you're going to spank at school, you get one at home too. And so when it all came out, Twila had to go and get a willow. And Dad says, that's not a very good one, Twila. So he went out and got one. But my brother and sister told me not to tell Mom and Dad. It'll all pass over. Well, they got in trouble too. So it wasn't quite so bad on me. Learning to ride a bike on my brother's, and there was a little ditch that went down and the sidewalk over it, and I'd go around the house, and every time I'd get in the ditch, wham, I'd ride my brother's bike. We played ball and things like that, but our living on the farm, it was more just us. We had this horse, Old Snoots we called him. He used to be a racehorse, but we got about 14 kids on that horse one time and got to riding around. We had them from head clear to the back. I think it's just, you learn things. My sister and I, we had a building, it was called for the bees. Somebody lived there before, raised bees and had honey and stuff. And we cleaned that up and made us a playhouse out of it. And just, it's amazing what I hadn't thought of that for a long time. Could make do with what you have.
Yeah.
I tried to play the violin. My violin was about this long. But I didn't do too well with that. I was not crafty or anything, but I did try the violin. And I had an uncle that took the violin lessons, and he did real good in it, so I couldn't come in close to that.
Do you have like any funky hairstyles?
Well, you'll see some of them. They're just bangs here and there for a while. Let's see, I don't remember how, maybe when I was 8 or something, Mom used to braid my hair and put it up here. I had a picture at home and I couldn't find it. I was going to bring that, but that was about it. And crossed here and down and back. I don't know. I tried to be as good as my sister, and I never could do that. She was always a step ahead of me, better than me. Because I don't know, I was the youngest. But that, I don't know.
Okay.
Basically all I want to do is grow up, get married, and have kids, have my kids. that was it. I did that. I had 5 of them. Oh yes, we went to the Methodist church, and we had to go every Sunday morning, and us kids had to go Sunday night. And my grandfather was hard of hearing. We had of course, when we get up on stage to sing, we had to sing loud enough so Grandpa could hear us. And that's about. We went up to Newbridge, which is maybe 10 minutes to get there from our town. And I'm not sure what religion it was, but we went in there and we decided we didn't want anything to do with that religion. It was something like the Holy Rollers or something like that. I don't know what it was, but I do remember that. No. My husband passed away in '02. The third one. I was married 3 times. They're all passed away.
Oh, okay. Okay. You want to tell us about that, or?
How do we start? Well, the first one, I was 17 when we got married. I quit school and got married. I had 2 boys and then a girl. And I just didn't like it when he thought he could work swing shift and go out playing afterwards. So that ended up in a divorce. Yeah, I worked at Myron Frank's. I worked in the yardage, and well, actually it was for Singer sewing machine. And I would demonstrate me sitting up there, well, and make my daughter's dresses and stuff while I was at work. And I buy the remnants, and stuff, and make her dresses. And then he didn't like to work. He was a great books salesman. And that one didn't last too long. And let's see, when Larry was 4, my youngest one, I met my third husband. And he passed away in '02. He worked for the school district about 10, 15 years while I was married. He was a bartender before that. So, but he had kids, and I raised 3 of his boys. We had them for a while. So, yeah, my second husband, we had 2 boys. My first one, I had 2 boys and a girl. I had 3 boys, or no, excuse me. I had the 2 boys and then my daughter. And that was, and then with my second husband, I had 2 boys. So now my oldest son lives in Oklahoma. He doesn't have much to do with me, although he is calling me now more than he used to. And my next son and my next to the youngest son have both passed away. And my youngest son and his girlfriend live with me. So my daughter lives over in Washougal. Of course, she had 2 girls. So I got a bunch of grandkids too.
So what are some of the personalities and unique qualities of your children?
My daughter likes to put on that she's prissy. And my oldest son, he was never happy, I don't think, when he was a kid growing up. And then my next one, he worked at Freightliners, and he was, Ron just kind of go along with everything, and kind of like his mother, I guess. But my daughter, she likes to put on that she's better than you or better than me, And then my 2 youngest boys, Greg was my hippie. He kind of had this long beard and long hair and always looked out for me. And now my youngest one, he's not working right now. He's a truck driver, but looks out for Mom. And Larry's just, happy-go-lucky and just whatever. They're all different. They were all different. I think I'm too easygoing. They could talk me into about anything. And of course, living on the farm, and back then, in those days, I mean, living there, and even living there now, it's been a long time since I've been back there, but it's altogether different back there now. A lot of retired people back where I lived. And, but it was fun. But I think I'm too easygoing. They can usually talk me into whatever it is they want. Now that's a hard question. Let's see. My oldest one wanted to tell everybody what to do and expected us to do it. Ron, he was one that my next one, always wanted to make sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do, but he was easygoing. And my daughter, she likes to put on, like I said, which I love her dearly, but I don't agree with it. And Greg, he was my hippie. And Larry, he just out, he likes to have a good time and give mom a bad time. And so he and his girlfriend live with me, take care of me, if you want to say that. But I figure if I fall down, one of them will be home to pick me up. Well, my oldest son, he left when he was, I don't know, he went into the Army, and I really haven't seen much of him since. So I really don't know with him. I mean, of course I was proud of him, and everything, but I don't know. And Ron, he lived right down the street from where I live now, and he always made sure I was doing what he thought I should do. And in fact, one day, he went by, and he called me up, and he says, "Mom," and I said, "What? Whose red car is that outside in front of your house?" I says, "Ron, you should go next door and ask him, because I have no clue." Nobody, unless he knew, was supposed to come over. But it was really funny, and after he passed away, his wife did that to me one day. There was one in the white car out front, and she drove by, and she just called me up saying, "Whose cars are those over there at your place?" Just because that's what Ron would have done. But I don't know, my kids, I was just proud of what they did, They didn't excel in any way. One of my nephews, he was a big shot up at Marylhurst College, and my kids weren't that way. They just ordinary kids, and like their mother, I guess. And my youngest one, he keeps wanting to tell me I shouldn't do this and shouldn't do that, but I don't listen to him. I do what I want to do, like he does what he wants to do. So, and after this is over, I'll think of a lot of things, but Basically, I think the main thing that's changed my life was coming to work here. Let's see, how do I explain what I was like? I would do anything I had to do not to cause problems after I grew up. I think I caused a lot of problems when I was growing up. But I wanted to make everybody happy. I didn't want anybody not to like me. It just seemed like everything, I never seemed to do anything right. And I felt that my folks preferred my sister over me, and I don't know, maybe that's just being a kid or something, but it carried on into my married life and my family. Nothing wrong with religion. My sister married a guy that was in the Navy, Catholic, and she joined the church, which is fine, but she always made me feel that she was better than I am, and of course her two boys, I got that feeling too. But I just kind of got out on my own with my kids, and we lived our life. So my daughter, she, like I say, nothing wrong with religion, married a Catholic, and she joined the church. But she gives you that same feeling. And so I don't like that. I walk in her house, everything's in place. My sister's was too. Walk in my house, table's cluttered, the coffee table. I live in my house, so I don't know. I have good friends. I met Joy up here. You know who Joy is. She and I are real good friends. We go walking. Not as much anymore. Used to go to a movie all the time. Her sister moved here from Hermiston, and her sister's one of these neat lady, but she knows everything, and she's usually right. So that rubs Joy and I the wrong way. But other than that, it's I don't know. I'm proud of my kids, what they are today and everything, and I'll keep them. Worked up.
Are they from
Someone's playing the piano.
Yeah. Wait, let me pause it.
All right, this is my brother and sister. I am the little one here. I was 2. My sister's 4, my brother's 6. And this is in front of my grandmother's house in Richland, Oregon. So we spent a lot of time down there at Grandma's. And she ran the general store not after I was born, but when my mother was little. So, but I don't know. That's the first homemade, boughten dress. We have very few boughten dresses. Mom always made them. So, okay, we still got time. And then here is me. Yeah. This is in my early 20s. And I know because my oldest son I was 19 when he was born. I had long hair then. He started pulling this, so I cut it off, so I know approximately how it is. So that was me. And we'll do one more. And this is of course, me, my daughter, and my granddaughter, her daughter. And this granddaughter had triplets. So now these boys are 11 years old. So they were little babies. And this one here was blind in one eye. This one had something wrong with it. Wasn't blind, he wears glasses. And this one is just an honorary shit. Oh, maybe I should have said that. So, and that's them. And then I've got, here's this one. This one is my youngest son and me and his 2 daughters. And then my Gunther. That dog was so cute. He was only, about this tall. He was a Shih Tzu. And I'd take him in when I go to bed. I'd put him up on my bed because he couldn't jump up. And I put him up there. He'd get under the covers to go to the foot of the bed. And I'd go in and he'd lay at my feet. But when I wake up the next morning, he was up with his head on the pillow next to me and the covers right up to under his chin. So he was a lot of company. And then we have, I don't know if you can tell, this is one of the kids that graduated last year, Valentine's Day. May not take too well. And someone said I was probably the only person he ever kissed, so I don't know about that. And, let's see. This is last year's picture. Need I say more? Oh, no, 2 years ago. And then here I was last year. And that's Brooke. I don't know if you know Brooke. But I always dress up. And at Christmas time, I wear sweatshirts that last week of school. And I was asked this year at St. Patrick's Day, where's your green shirt? And I thought maybe I might be pushing my luck. But I went and bought one because I didn't have one. But I got one for next year now. And here's me and my boys. This one's the oldest one. Then Greg, this is my hippie. And Larry and me. And then here is Mr. Clyde. That's supposed to be just a nice, sized dog. He's not even a year old yet. And he gets up on my lap and I cannot get him off. Or he puts his paws on the arm of the couch and looks around sitting in my lap. And that's our baby right now. So that's them.
We admired the article that you were featured in and under Bonap. So we took what you said and we're going to read it back to you.
Okay.
And then, okay, so you said that you keep a sharp eye out for students who are crying, sitting alone, or who want to talk. And you said that sometimes they get so homesick They get lonely. They like to see a friendly face. I listen a lot. A lot of them stay in touch after they graduate. I get letters and cards and visits. One student wrote a paper about me for class. And now they're doing a video about you for class. We forget that they are just kids. They're so tall and they seem so confident, but they get awfully lonely. At least they have me, is how I look at it. I have the time for them. Sure I do. And it's just such a nice thing to say.
Well, you know, got all you kids, grandkids and whatnot. I gotta make sure you're doing right. You want me to tell you what I did to one kid?
Sure.
Well, you know where those chairs are along, let's see, on the back side, the first booth, there's a booth, and then there's the chairs along that side. One kid, I was washing tables and I walked by and he had his feet up on the chair next to it. Or not chair, the table. And I went over there and I stood there and I just looked at him and he looked up. I said, do you do that at home? And he said, no. And I said, well, I want to tell you something. I said, I have your mother's phone number. If you do that again, I'm going to call her. Boy, let me tell you, he never had his feet up on the table again. I thought, you really believe that I have your mother's phone number, everybody's phone number? But it did what I wanted to do, so it was all right.
Awesome.
What haven't I learned? You know, I just am myself. And I enjoy new kids and everything, and talking to, well, the staff members even, you know, I joke around with them, and I think I have learned who I really am. I think that was the best thing I ever did, was when I came to work here. Because I stand up for myself more. Everybody seemed to think I was a pushover, and I'm sure I was. But I don't let things bother me like they did when, oh, I better do this or they won't like me, you know, or something like that. And I can laugh and joke with your kids and stuff. And one girl, I talked to her for an hour because her girlfriend at home did not like her boyfriend. And I talked to her for an hour trying to convince her, do what you want to do. And she did. They're married now. So, I don't know, was that the question? But I just, you know, I just find I've grown from what I was. Before I was just a mother. And I worked at the Portland Clinic for 16 years, but it wasn't near as satisfying as here. So I just plan to stand here for maybe 85, but I'm going to stick it out for a few more. Till I can't make it here on time. Don't remember names, but
It's okay.
It's a lot.
You make, or you affect lives of people, so that's what matters.
That makes me feel good too. Probably. I mean, I feel that, well, I feel like I've got something to live for besides my kids. My kids always come first. But I've got, and I keep saying, I got all these grandkids up here. I got to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do. You kids, talking to the kids and them friends, I mean the workers, I mean, you know, a lot of them kid around with me and told me I don't work, and I said, I know it, and, you know. Or I'll say, what do you mean I'm not working? I'm working right now. I may be sitting down, you know, talking to somebody. I'm working right now. What's your problem? But it's just, I enjoy being me. And I don't feel like I have to do anything to prove myself for someone to like me. If you don't like me the way I am, you don't like me. That's okay. So everybody, you know, even the bosses and everything, they're just the same as we are. And I know some people are like, I can't do this because they're so-and-so. Well, so I know if I want to sit down and talk, or I'm talking to someone, I continue. Yeah.
So you mentioned before you came to UP, you didn't feel like you found more about yourself here. So what are like other aspects that you've seen yourself grow in?
Having more confidence in myself, not being afraid that if I don't do this or if I'm not doing that or if I do this I might get in trouble. I don't feel that way. And that's a good feeling. I just have a good time. I'm not afraid to laugh or stand. And I know some people that if you're talking to another employee, oh, there's the boss or there's so-and-so, and be able to move on. But I don't. So I'm talking to someone. No, I just feel like that. It's kind of home, really. And I mean, they have a lot of people working here, and they're all friendly, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah. That's so good. Okay.
And all the kids are friendly too. That helps.
Yeah.
Scarier now. I mean, even we moved to Portland, I was in the 8th grade. And even then, there's a difference from living on the farm. And I don't know, sometimes I think it's really scary the way things are going because in a way you don't really feel free when you're out and about of who you're might run into or what they might do. And I know my new neighbors. There was a truck that pulled up there last night, and I says, "What the heck are you doing now?" I says, "You didn't tell me you was going to bring that in." It's just some stuff from my mother's house in California. And I said, "Oh, well, I guess that's all right then." You know, I mean, you don't know what your neighbors are going to be doing or anything. And it's kind of scary, but I don't let it bother me. I've lived in that house there where I'm at now by myself, and I'm not afraid. Sometimes I go to bed with the front door still unlocked. I forget to lock it. And I did before my son and his girlfriend came and lived with me too. So I guess I feel pretty comfortable.
So it sounds like the world that you grew up in before was just more trusting of others.
Oh, I think so. And when we lived on the farm, you knew everybody in that little town. I mean, we moved from there. There was 370 people left in that town. So you knew everyone. And it was kind of scary when we came here because you don't know everyone. There's so many people. And I remember one girl I went to school with, she had her arm off here and she had a false arm. And I used to meet her and do it. And my sister says, "You always have to pick on the craziest people." And I was so mad at her because she was a sweet girl. It's not her fault that one missing, you know. And it didn't bother me any, but I just don't see talking about people like that, and I feel sorry for handicapped people, but that's me.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to it. I just live my life the way I want to live with it and let it go.
Yeah.
I'm 85. Why do I have to worry?
You go, girl.
Have you seen any of the social roles like impact you in any way?
Not really. You know, at the time, well, I don't like this or I don't like that, but it hasn't affected anything.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I'm a lover, not a
Not a hate.
I think I get more out of life than what my parents did. Even my sister with, and this again is not against any religion, but I think I've seen more in life than she has, which is wonderful. She lives for the, and now that she can't go, why they have someone come and do, you know, and everything there. But still, I think I get more out of life than she does. My full life is just being friendly and my kids, and not looking down my nose at anyone. She's a snob. I love her, but she's a snob. And she's had many things that she didn't like about me or the way I did things, and she lets me know. But then there's things she did that I didn't like, but I didn't say anything. I just like people, and you meet all different kinds of people. And but that's my way of living, and that's the way it's going to be from now on.
Yeah. You show a lot of empathy for people, it sounds like.
So I like it. I like being around people.
Yeah.
Well, how would you answer that? Just being me. I mean, I've got a neighbor down the street that I got to talk to him one day and found out that he worked up here in the maintenance department or somewhere for 10 years. We had a pot store right across the way, and some of the neighbors did a petition to get it moved. Why, I don't know. I mean, it didn't bother me any. You know, my boys smoke it. And it just, I don't know, you know. And I'm sure that when I was growing up, I probably did a lot of things that people didn't like, but Mom and Dad told me, but anyway. I don't think you should try and change anyone. That may be off the question, but anyway. That store didn't bother me over there, just kitty cornered, but it didn't bother me. And now it's around a couple blocks away on Lombard, but you know, to each his own. And I've always thought, it's not what you asked me, but why they didn't legalize pot so they could do it and not get in trouble. My boys, three of my boys, they all smoke pot. And in fact, my son, the oldest one of the three, the doctor put him on pot in a vaporizer. And he would call me and cough. And I'd say, well, how's the vaporizer working today, Ron? Pretty good, Mom. So, I don't know. I just have a different outlook than a lot of people do. Like kids or people be people. They don't hurt me. And, you know, they're not hurting me, so why should I feel like they're doing wrong? So, and some of my boys got in trouble for doing pot before it was legalized. I says, why don't they legalize it, tax it, and get the money off of it, which they finally did. So. Enjoy yourself. Just be yourself. And I think meeting people, oh, well, I don't like her looks, I'm not going to talk to her. And there's a lot of that. And I know I have had friends that some people in my family look down on, but so what? They're human like we are. And I just think, okay, let's be yourself and let me be myself. So I think that's about all on that. And I don't know any more to say, but I think that's it.
That's perfect.
Is there anything else you want to say for your video? Maybe a future note to yourself?
Oh, well, I could probably have a lot of notes. Yeah, so I can remember things better. I forget things. So many I wake up, oh, this is Saturday morning. It's not. It was Thursday morning. You know, I gotta take and get my senses going here before I realize what day it is sometimes. But I guess that happens to everybody sooner or later.
Twila, you don't know this, but the first time you talked to me, it was my first day back from campus since my grandmother died, and it was the nicest thing in the world. And I love you forever. Love me.
Thank you, Twila. Twila is a wonderful person and we all love her.
We do. Twila makes us all smile every day. We love having her here.
She helps us.
Help you.
Yeah, she helps you.
And the kids love her. We love having her here. Thanks for doing this for her.
Yeah.
Go Twila!
We're very appreciative of all the years that Twila Twila has been working at the university and supplied us with her wonderful smile, her ability to change the table from dirty to clean, and her ability to find a student in the building that just needs an extra little motherly touch. And she has reached out and touched more than hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students. When I was a student here, Twila was not working here, just so you know that. Other than that, she's a wonderful person. Love her dearly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill.
Off the top of my head.
No, I'll even take you later.
No, you're good. I gotta go.
Hi, Twila. Doing a great job. Thanks for coming to work every day and being positive. And now get back to work. Bye.